Announcement from Mayor de Blasio about the growing measles outbreak in Brooklyn, centered in the Orthodox Jewish community.
It follows a health department crackdown on religious schools that allow unvaccinated students to attend classes. CBS News' Jenna DeAngelis, she is live in Williamsburg with more on this story. Jenna.
Alex and Mary, a public health emergency has been declared here in Williamsburg due to the measles crisis. It is now required here to get a vaccine, or you could face a $1,000 fine. And to give some perspective, Mayor de Blasio said in 2017 there were only 2 measles cases in New York City. There are now nearly 300.
The message today for all New Yorkers is to take measles seriously.
A strong message from Mayor de Blasio declaring a public health emergency. With measles cases growing at an alarming rate and Passover around the corner, a major concern for the city is people congregating will cause the dangerous disease to spread even more.
Department of Health will issue violations and fines to people who remain unvaccinated.
Ordering mandatory vaccinations in Williamsburg is an attempt by the city to put an end to this crisis. There have been 285 confirmed cases in Brooklyn and Queens since the outbreak began in October. Most involve those in the Orthodox Jewish community.
I want to set the record straight. This vaccine is safe. This vaccine not only protects your child, but as you heard from the mayor, it protects other people's children.
On top of that order, if a Williamsburg yeshiva opens its doors to children not vaccinated against the measles, the health department warns it could result in violations or school closure.
I think people should take a vaccination.
The opinion of the rabbis over here is they should get vaccines.
In Rockland County, another area hit hard with measles cases, there is still a battle going on over what to do about failure to vaccinate.
It's happening around New York State. It's only going to spread unless we fix the problems in the system. And the problems are we have way too lax of a requirement.
There'll be school vacation. There'll be more and more families together. The last thing we want to see is more family members afflicted by this disease.
The mayor doesn't want cost to be a factor, so he says the health department will give vaccines for free. All you have to do is call 311, and he's hoping this will be the last step taken for this crisis to pass. We're live in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Jenna DeAngelis, CBS 2.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show, and this is a call for just people to wake up. I mean, I've talked about this many times over. Unfortunately, a lot of my videos are now gone because YouTube put in a new policy when it comes to vaccinations. You're not allowed to talk about it unless you're pro. So I'm just going to read the article. And of course, if you saw that video and the people who happen to be so pro-vaccination in it, it's laughable. It really is. I've been talking about how this is going to become mandatory. And instead of people asking why there's such a rise in all of these diseases and measles and flu and all this other stuff, instead they just come out and they accept it and they go, oh, people are just getting sicker, just like more and more people are getting cancer. Can't be from anything in the air or the food or anything like that, or from, the actual thing that they're getting. No. And they come out and they tell you how safe it all is. I mean, I can't sit here and give the statistics and do that because it's not worth getting my channel shut down over. But you can see measles outbreak. New York City declares a health emergency, requires vaccination in parts of Brooklyn. Mandatory vaccinations. This is just the beginning. Remember, they run these things out. They test them in certain areas. Okay, this is how they normalize it first. They can't just come out tomorrow and say everybody in the United States is getting a mandatory vaccination, or they're going to be fined $1,000 or $5,000 or whatever they decide. Because people aren't going to buy it. People are going to be suspicious. They're going to start normalizing the mandatory vaccination. They're going to start saying, listen, your kids, they can no longer come to school unless they're vaccinated. And of course, they're targeting and they're calling on religious organizations and religious leaders. I wonder what that's supposed to mean and who exactly they're talking about. It says for months, New York City officials have been fighting a measles outbreak in ultra-Orthodox Jewish communities in Brooklyn, knowing that the solution to the measles vaccine was not reaching its target audience. As you heard in the video, they were talking about how they're seeing a rise from 2 reports of measles last year to 300. I mean, this is all how it works. This is how the controlled system works, right? Order out of chaos, the fear, the panic, okay, then the threat of paying a fine, as if people can afford $1,000 fine. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But what do? They play off people's emotions, right? Because they're saying, well, it's young kids who are dying, and now it could be other young kids who are dying if you don't get your kids vaccinated. Meanwhile, you would think that the people who are getting vaccinated would be getting healthy and wouldn't be getting the measles. Thus, it wouldn't matter if the other children were vaccinated. That's called common sense. It says they tried education and outreach, working with rabbis and distributing thousands of flyers to encourage parents to vaccinate their kids. They also tried harsher measures like a ban on unvaccinated students from going to school. But with measles cases still on the rise and an anti-vaccination movement spreading, city health officials on Tuesday took a more drastic step to stem one of the largest measles outbreaks in decades. It's just amazing that you can't have this opposite opinion on this. Right? They say, well, you're spreading misinformation. Oh, then they have doctors come forward and they deflect and they do humor, like the videos I showed you with Jimmy Kimmel, right? Talking about, how everyone's an idiot. They're doctors. Listen to them. Take their word for it, right? Like there's no side agenda. They listen to Bill Gates and all this other crap that these globalists have been talking about, how important vaccination is for depopulation. I mean, it's incredible how in their faces is, and it should have been enough. Really? And what's funny, what is kind of funny about this is that people are waking up to this, all of this stuff, because they're seeing the ban that these idiots are putting on stuff. Like YouTube thinks that by censoring, and like I've seen a huge drop in my recommended videos, my subscribers per day. I've never had a negative day. Suddenly I'm having negative subs and stuff like that on my channel since the first of the month, because they put that lock, which they're putting on all these channels now, because they don't want them to be recommended channels. Okay, and then they're starting to ban views on videos and suppress if you even search for channels like mine. You know why? And that doesn't mean every time you search that I'm not going to show up. But they calculate in a certain number into the algorithm so that it won't show up. Anyway, long story short, is that you would think by doing that type of stuff that people would go, why are these people who are just speaking so dangerous? Why is it that they can't question vaccinations? Why is it that they can't question, trans people reading in public libraries to kids? And then finding out that these people are actually, sex offenders, right? Why is it you can't question that stuff and then they come out and censor? Why has YouTube had to put a clamp on people such as myself? I wonder why, right? And you would think that that would help in this movement of waking people up. The mayor, who you saw in the video with the huge vaccination sign, says this is the epicenter of a measles outbreak that is very, very troubling and must be dealt with immediately. Mr. de Blasio said at a news conference, the measles vaccine works, it is safe, it is effective, it is time tested. The measure follows a spike in measles infections in New York, where there have been 285 confirmed cases since the outbreak began in the fall. 21 of those cases led to hospitalizations, including 5 admissions to the intensive care unit. City officials conceded that the earlier order in December, which banned unvaccinated students from attending school in certain sections of Brooklyn, was not effective. They said on Tuesday the city would fine or even temporarily shut down schools that did not abide by the measure. There's been some real progress in addressing the issue, but it's just not working fast enough. It's very interesting, the community that it's occurring in, right? Very interesting how they can get this the agenda pushed there. Right? I mean, if that's all I can say about that. You all know what I'm thinking. If you're someone who's a long-time subscriber to my channel, but what do you want me to do? I mean, it's unbelievable what you can and can't say on here. It's unbelievable. This video, they're going to try to flag it, and I'm not even saying anything pro or negative, really. I mean, I'm not giving statistics, and, I'm giving my opinion that I don't believe in it, and that makes me a dangerous person. Across the country, there have been 465 measles cases since the start of 2019, with 78 new cases in the last week alone. Right? This is the same thing we heard 2 months ago, and I was talking about the flu shot. Right? An abnormal number of these outbreaks popping up. Right? So what do? They start using it and testing it out in small areas, states, in certain towns or cities, and they start making mandatory vaccinations, right? This is how it works with everything. This is how look at the Satanists, right? With bringing the Baphomet statue and showing up places, right? Going up to city council meetings and showing up an invocation. This is how it works. This is how they get people adjusted to it. This is how they desensitize people to it and program people into wanting it and thinking it's what's in their best interest.